Along with synthetic here, and in this video we will be teaching you how to make this wood go from this plain surface here to this piece of granite. Nice sample board of Baltic Brown. So before we go about making the sample here, I actually have a bunch of real Baltic Brown installed in my kitchen. So before that, how would we go and look at the real stuff before we go and make our actual granite? This granite, it has some nice dark webbing in it. It also has a few different shades of brown. It's not just one shade of brown. We'll be trying to do a little bit of the same with our piece. So our ingredient list that we are going to need for our bagged Baltic this time is 1 to 2 grocery bags. For our bare paints, we are going to need Gallery White, High Style Beige, and Ethiopia, as well as the sprays that we are going to be using with our grocery bag are Hammered Copper and Mystic Brown, both Rust-Oleum brand. And we are going to be needing Copper Metallic and Coffee Metallic additives, both mixed with isopropyl alcohol in separate spray bottles, and then later on for the epoxy we will need those sprays again, as well as our Rust-Oleum semi-gloss or high gloss black. So first we're just going to sort of drip a bit of that paint out onto our nice clear film wrap so that we can just get from it, use it kind of like a paint palette. And first we are going to go over it with our Gallery White. Just going to splat that in a few places, and if it ever gets too strong in any places, you can always just flat over it again to take it off. Now what we did is we started from light to darkest. If you wanted this board to go a bit lighter, I would suggest doing the reverse of it. That way you start light, you do a little bit of light, and you keep increasing as it goes. If you did it the reverse way, the light will be what shows up on top. It'll be what you see the most, and you'll do it the most strong. So next we went in with some High Style Beige. We put that up a bit. On the camera it picks up a little bit like it might be white, but if you focus it's just a little bit off. It's more of a creamish color in person. Then we kind of are going to go and get from our Ethiopia. And for that I kind of just switched a bag, because if you're doing it with the other one, which has the lighter colors, it will mix in with the darker and the Ethiopia, and that won't turn out as well. That is also why at first I did lighter to dark, because that way it would blend less into the light and be less contaminated. Though of course you could always just get more bags. So now we need to shake up our spray can, and we're just going to go in with some Hammered Copper. It's the next one on our list here. And you can just spray that onto the table, or if you want and have gloves on, you can spray it directly into your hand. Do not spray it directly into your hand if you do not have gloves on. It won't be a pleasant experience. And another tip is make sure the bags are turned inside out when you are doing this technique. If they are not turned inside out, then the logo or brand of the store name that is on the grocery bag can come off printed onto the thing itself. This is a very unpleasant result, and you don't want a big brand logo all across, or random flecks of it, all across your nice board. You want to make sure it's just the pure colors. And then we're going over with some of our Mystic Brown. Ours is a textured Rust-Oleum Mystic Brown. It's just what we were able to use. The texturing is not necessary for this effect, but it's the color that we found, and it worked very nicely. we're just going to go over with one last layer with our spray, isopropyl alcohol spray metallics, and we're just going to give nice light tugs there so that we get just a little bit of this one final layer of these metallic splatters here and there. Now what we're doing is we are mixing together our parts A and B of epoxy. This is the time where we finally get to put our epoxy on the board, and we're just making sure we have an even amount of both of those. It's an equal 1-to-1 ratio. And we're going to get our drill with our mixing paddle, and we're going to mix that for about 2 minutes. Now that we have our epoxy mixed, we're going to pour that out onto our board. Now, when we pour this out, sometimes we like to get our trowel and we like to trowel it out back and forth just one last time to make sure it's just extra mixed before we spread it out evenly. So you'll see a bit of that here. And then we're finally just going to trowel it out nice and smooth across the whole board, making sure not to drip too much over the sides, just enough to just get a slight bead so that it goes over the edges, but not enough so that we push all of it over. We've also brushed it out where we've kind of gotten a radial pattern all around here to make sure that it's not in lines either, to make sure to get rid of the trowel lines, and so that we don't get organized brush lines that are still in rows. We need to do it kind of sporadically and radial so that it appears more natural. So we've done that, we've gotten our torch, we torched some of the bubbles out, and we are now going to be fogging it up with our black spray paint now that we've almost shaken up our spray paint can. We will then be going in with copper and then with coffee in that order. If it looks like we're messing it up right now, it's going to look like that up until we put these on. Then it won't be. It'll be fixing everything. So I'm going to make sure to give these very slight tugs. Always make sure to shake up your spray bottles before you use them, and you can just test it on the side a little bit to make sure the spray pattern's right and it's flowing correctly. We just use slight tugs to get our metallics and isopropyl alcohol on there so it gets a nice fracturing effect. Now, when you're fracturing with your metallics, make sure to not do too much of one or the other to make sure you have an even mix of both. You don't have to aim for the amount of fracturing, the amount you're seeing through underneath that you're wanting initially. This stuff will spread and continue to flow later on, so if you do too much at the beginning, then it can end up more showing through than you were initially wanting, so you need to wait a little bit and see how it's coming out. This has a really nice 3D effect. I'm not sure if you can see all of it on the video, but it has a really nice effect where you can see the crackle with the metallics veining through it at the top, and then showing through to our bagged Baltic underneath it. Just kind of this really nice 3D effect where you're able to see multiple layers. Came out really nice. Love all the different colors in it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our video. If you like what you see, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. Tell us what other types of stone you would like to see us make in the future. Let us know in the comments below. So until next time, helping you with your DIY projects and crafts, built by you, built for less, built to last. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks again.